Hi boys and girls, I'd like to read to you a new mystery, Cam Jansen and the Secret Service Mystery by David A. Adler. Look, they have detective notebook just like us. Chapter 1. Please, please, don't put me in jail, Danny called out. The other children in the classroom turned and looked at Danny. Who's putting you in jail? Cam Jansen asked. Danny stood by his desk. He spread out his arms and shouted, I tell you, I didn't do it. What didn't you do? Eric Shelton wanted to know. They've come to get me. This is terrible. They've come to get me. Remember, boys and girls, you can pause the video if you'd like to stare at the picture longer. What are you shouting about? Their teacher, Miss Benson, asked. What didn't you do? Who has come to get you? Danny pointed out the window. 4 police motorcycles, 2 long black cars, and a news truck had stopped by the front of the school. It's the governor and the Pearls, Miss Benson said. They haven't come to arrest anyone. They've come to dedicate the school's new library. Danny fell back on his chair. He looked up at the ceiling and sighed. I thought it was a goner. The other children in Miss Benson's class rushed to the windows. They watched as the police officers got off their motorcycles and opened the door of the first black car. 2 men and 2 women, each carrying a black jacket and black pants, and each holding a walkie-talkie, got out. They're Secret Service agents, Miss Benson said. The 2 men were tall. One was bald. The other had short dark hair and a mustache. The women were tall, too. One had long blonde hair. The other woman had dark hair. The agents looked around. The blonde woman tapped her hand on the roof of the car, and a man in a blue suit got out. He smiled at the police officers and the people dressed in black. That's Governor Zellner, Miss Benson said. The governor went to the second car. He opened the black door, and an elderly couple got out. Those are the Pearls, Miss Benson told the class. Eric looked at his watch and said, They're early. It's only 9:40 and the program starts at 11. I don't think so, Kim said. She closed her eyes and said, click. The program starts in the new library at 10, she said with her eyes still closed. The 4th and 5th grade classes will be there. At 11, Governor Zellner will visit the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grades. Then he'll read stories to the children in kindergarten. The program was posted on a large sign in the front hall. Kim had seen it when she came to school. Now, with her eyes closed, she was looking at a mental picture she had of the sign. Cam Jansen has what people call a photographic memory. It's as if she has pictures in her head of whatever she sees. When she wants to remember something, she closes her eyes and says, click. She says it's the sound her mental camera makes. Cam's real name is Jennifer, but when people found out about her amazing memory, they called her the camera. Soon, the camera became just Cam. Please, Miss Benson said, return to your seats. When the children were seated, Miss Benson told them, It's a great honor for us to meet the governor. Then she looked at Danny and said, I expect everyone to be on their best behavior. Hey, what did I do? Danny asked. I'm serious, Miss Benson told him. Beth raised her hand and asked, Why did the Secret Service people come here? They've traveled with Governor Zellner ever since he said he was running for president. Of the United States? Danny asked. Yes, Miss Benson answered. Wow. Eric said, I might meet the next president. I'm taking my notebook along. Maybe he'll give me his autograph. Miss Benson looked at the clock in the back of the room. It's almost 10. Let's get in line, she told the class. The children stood by twos in the hall. Miss Benson looked at Danny and said, Let's walk quietly to the new library. And when we're there, please, make me proud of our class. I will, Danny said. Beth was next to Danny in line. And don't tell any of your riddles, Beth said. Not even this one? Why don't ducks tell jokes when they're flying in the air? No! The library was at the far end of the front hall, just beyond the gym. The children quietly followed Miss Benson. Danny whispered to Beth, Don't you want to know about the ducks? No. The 4 police officers whom the children had seen arrive on motorcycles, were now standing in the hall near the entrance to the library. Their hands were on their hips, and they watched as Miss Benson's class walked past. "They would quack up," Danny whispered. "That's why flying ducks don't tell jokes." "And it's not funny," Beth told him. The children entered the library. Several rows of chairs were set up in the center of the room. In the back were several reporters and photographers. In front was a large desk and a microphone. Behind the desk was the librarian's office. Miss Benson and her class sat in the first few rows of seats. Miss Benson sat on an end seat. Next were Danny, Beth, Cam, and Eric. Eric turned and looked all around, then he bent his head back and looked up. "Wow," he whispered to Cam. "There are windows in the ceiling." "Those are called skylights," Cam said. 2 Secret Service agents stood by the front desk. They watched the teachers and children enter the library. "They give me the jitters," Danny said to Miss Benson. "Shh." When everyone was seated, Dr. Prell, the principal, stepped up to the microphone. "This is a great day for our school," she said. "We have a beautiful new library. We have Governor Zellner here. The Pearls are also here. This library is their generous gift to our school." The library office door opened. 2 Secret Service agents came out, followed by Governor Zellner and the Pearls. The governor wore a large red, white, and blue Zellner for President button on his jacket. Mrs. Pearl had long, curly white hair and wore a red dress and a large, dangling pearl necklace. Mr. Pearl was dressed in a white suit, white shirt and tie, and white shoes. When they walked out, light bulbs flashed as news photographers took their pictures. "It's my great honor," Dr. Prell announced, "to introduce our beloved governor, Elliot Zellner." Governor Zellner stood by the microphone. He raised his hands and waved. Thank you, he said. Bang! Governor Zellner dropped to the floor. I wonder what that bang was. Chapter 2. The children and teachers in the room were scared. They dropped to the floor. Many of the adults standing by the sides of the room did too. The 4 police officers hurried in. 2 Secret Service agents and the police officers walked slowly through the room. Cam looked behind her. All she saw were people on the floor. She turned and looked up at the large front desk. 2 Secret Service agents were crouched on the floor beside Governor Zellner. Another had pushed the pearls behind the desk. Cam turned and watched the 2 agents and the police officers go to the back of the library. She looked at the large windows in the new library. She looked up at the skylights. She took a deep breath and then whispered to Eric, I don't see or smell smoke. If a gun was shot in here, there would be smoke. Maybe someone shot from outside. No, Cam whispered, the windows are closed and not one is broken. Then why are we on the floor? Eric asked. Why do the Secret Service people look so worried? They want to know what made that noise. I do too, Eric said. People in the room began to whisper. One of the agents in the back of the room waved. Then one by the desk said, There's no need to be afraid. Please return to your seats. Cam, Eric, and the others in their class looked at Miss Benson. She looked to the back and saw the 2 agents who had searched the room. They were smiling. Miss Benson returned to her seat. Then Cam, Eric, and the others did too. I wonder what made that noise, Miss Benson said. It wasn't me, Danny told her. I've been good. The 2 agents who had searched the room were now by the front desk. They spoke for a moment with the other 2 agents and Dr. Prell. Dr. Prell laughed. They said something to Governor Zellner. He laughed too. Dr. Prell took a large yellow book from a shelf on the side of the room. Then she tapped on the microphone to get everyone's attention. She smiled and said, That was frightening, but no one was hurt. This is a library. There are lots of books here, and one of them fell. We don't have carpeting yet, so when the book hit the concrete floor, it made that scary sound. Dr. Prell dropped the yellow book onto the desk. Bang! The book fell flat. Now, do you know what made that bang? A few children dropped to the floor again. Others laughed. Dr. Prell tapped on the microphone. When everyone was quiet, she introduced Governor Zellner again. We are delighted and proud to have him here, she said. We hope this will be his first of many visits to our school. The governor waved and smiled. Lights flashed as photographers took his picture. I'm very pleased to be here, the governor said. This is a great day for your school and our state. I am happy to share it with you and with my good friends Sam and Emma Pearl, but what's more important, the Pearls are great friends of libraries and schools. "Please," Cam whispered to Eric, "let me have your notebook." Eric gave Cam the notebook. She put it on her lap and pushed it off. It dropped to the floor. First, the edge of the notebook hit the floor, then it landed on its side. It made just a small sound when it hit the floor. She picked it up, put it on her lap, and pushed it off a second time and a third time. Each time, it landed on its side. This beautiful new library, the governor said, made possible by the generosity of the Pearls, should be a model for libraries and schools throughout the state and nation. To be truly great, a nation needs great schools, libraries, and readers. He waved and smiled again. Lights flashed as photographers took his picture. "Books don't just fall," Cam whispered, "and they don't fall flat." Mrs. Pearl went to the microphone. She was a small woman. Dr. Pearl lowered the microphone for her. "Sam and I are happy to be here with you today," Emma Pearl said. "This is where we met. We were in the same second grade class. We're so very glad we were able to give this great school a new library." "And books," Sam Pearl said. "We are giving the school 1,000 new books." The governor, Dr. Pearl, and the others applauded. "Something strange is going on here," Cam told Miss Benson. Photographers took pictures of Governor Zellner, the Pearls, and Dr. Pearl. Dr. Pearl said, "Let's get some children and books in the picture." She asked Cam, Eric, Danny, and Beth to stand beside the Pearls. "Smile," one photographer told the children. "Say cheese," another said. Cam, Eric, and Beth said, "Cheese." Danny said, "Parmesan and Munster." Light bulbs flashed. "Thank you," Dr. Pearl told the children. "I have to show you something," Cam told Dr. Pearl. "It's very important." "Not now," Dr. Pearl said to Cam. "You'll show me later." "But I have to show it to you now." Dr. Pearl didn't answer Cam. Instead, she stood beside Governor Zellner and posed for another picture. Chapter 3. One of the newsmen asked Dr. Pearl if she remembered when the Pearls were second graders. "Of course not," Dr. Pearl said. "That was more than 50 years ago. I haven't been principal here that long. I'm not even that old." "Please," Cam said, "I need to show you something." Another newsman asked the principal, "What will this new library mean to your students?" "This library is one of the most important rooms in our school. I'm glad it's big and beautiful and filled with books." The reporters thanked Dr. Pearl. They turned and spoke with Governor Zellner. Miss Benson tugged on Cam's shirt and whispered, "Talk to Dr. Pearl later." "This can't wait," Cam said. "I can't wait either," Danny told Miss Benson. "I have to go somewhere, and I have to go now. I have to go to the bathroom." "What is it?" Miss Benson asked Cam. Danny was standing now and hopping around. "This is not a joke," he told Miss Benson. "I really have to go." "I have to show Dr. Pearl something," Cam said. "It's about the loud noise." Miss Benson told Danny he could go. Then she whispered to Dr. Pearl that Cam had something important to show her. "Watch this," Cam told Dr. Pearl. Then she pushed the large yellow book off the desk. It fell to the floor, but it didn't fall flat. First, the edge of the book hit the floor. Then it landed on its side. Dr. Pearl was annoyed. She told Cam to pick up the book and get back to her seat. Cam picked up the book and said, Didn't you see what happened? Books don't just fall. They must be pushed. And when they do fall, they don't fall flat and don't make a loud noise." Dr. Pearl looked at Cam. Then she looked at the book. She pushed it off the desk. It didn't fall flat. "I think you're right," she told Cam. "Come with me. We'll talk to one of the Secret Service agents." Dr. Pearl whispered to the female agent with long blonde hair. Then Cam followed Dr. Pearl and the agent into the library office. Cam told the agent what she had just told the principal. Then she took a book and pushed it off the desk, and again, it fell on its side. "You're a smart little girl, aren't you?" the agent said and smiled. "Of course you're right. We know someone dropped the book to cause a disturbance, but we checked the room and there's no one here who's a danger to Governor Zellner. We're sure it was just one of the children in the back who did it to be funny." Cam thought of Danny. Dr. Pearl smiled and told Cam, "You see, it was just one of those little things that happen in schools." It wasn't such a little thing, Cam thought. The governor was scared. We all were. Cam reluctantly returned to her seat. "You missed meeting the governor," Eric said. "We got in line and shook his hand. He even signed my notebook." Eric showed her the governor's autograph. One day, this might be really valuable. He might be president. Mr. Tones's class was in line now. Each child in turn shook hands with Governor Zellner. The Pearls shook hands with the children too. Mr. Tone had brought along a camera. He stood nearby and took photographs of each child with the governor. Cam told Eric what the agent had said. I don't think someone would do that just to be funny, Eric said. Even Danny wouldn't do it. It's too scary with all these Secret Service people and police around. I think you're right, Cam said. I think someone had a reason to drop that book. I just wish I knew what it was.